Hey you, I just had the amazing privilege of sitting down with Sarah Hackenberg. She owns a decluttering company called Grace in Cycles. It is absolutely amazing the conversation that we had. Who knew talking about clutter would take us to spaces like living your true authentic selves? Being able to truly identify who you are, to let go, and to allow other things to come into your life. Y'all, I'm really excited. I need you to sit back and watch this because I believe you're going to take something out of this. Be prepared to take notes, and guess what? My favorite thing, I'm looking forward to meeting you in the comments. Hey you, today's roast, how about getting rid of things that no longer serve you? A lot of times we like to keep things for monumental reasons. And then one thing after another starts piling up. And all of a sudden you have a room full of things that no longer serve you. How about we get rid of those things so you allow new things to come into your life? Because when you hold on to the past, sometimes it doesn't serve us well. We have reminders, good or bad, and sometimes it's better just to move forward with new thoughts, new energy, new ideas, new light into your life. Sarah, I'm so happy to have coffee with you today.
Thanks for inviting me.
You're so welcome. So, you heard the roast.
Yes, it was perfect. It's like you read my mind.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
How so?
Well, because as an organizer, I am wanting to tell people that exact thing, that while you want to honor the things from your past, you need to take stock of where you are now, and if those things serve you, that's the exact language I often use, and then consider what do you want for yourself in the future.
Yeah.
And the things that you hold right now, maybe you need to let go, like you said, to make space and give yourself energy for your future dreams.
Well, the reason I brought it up is because I'm going through this coaching program, Rory Vaden, Brand Builders, and he always says that his famous I guess one-liner is the best person to serve is the person you once were. Right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So the reason why it was so near and dear to me is because we just recently had the idea of just purging all these things. I live around people that like to hold on to things.
Yes.
And I realized maybe a couple months ago, I even had one of my dear friends come over and just like, okay, I need your help to help me let go.
Yes.
And she was able to guide me like, okay, she put it into 3 categories: of things you want to keep, things you want to throw away, and things you're going to donate.
Perfect.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's because of that experience I'm able to roast, because I know exactly that person, because I was that person
Yes.
a couple months ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that connects so much with what I say to clients in the beginning when we're talking about organizing and what they want. I say, well, you need to think of a very specific goal. What do you want for yourself moving forward? Why are you decluttering?
Yeah.
Because, there are 3 categories: keeping, getting rid of, trashing. But it's helpful to keep in mind why you're doing it, because what will come after you go through that process, whether it's allowing space for the next thing, whether it's letting go to receive more energy for what the future holds. But the goal, is really important. What do you want for yourself next?
And I know there's some times where when you throw away a thing, I caught myself getting a little bit choked up because I'm like, man, am I letting go of something, like a loved one that passed away, right? Like, how am I going to be able to remember them? So it starts becoming emotional.
It's very emotional, which is why it's so wonderful you had your friend with you.
Yeah.
Because whether you work with an organizer or a friend or a family member, it really can help the process to share it with someone, especially if it's something sentimental. The most important thing is the stories and the memories you have of the loved one, not the thing itself. And being able to share in the process of getting rid of something, share the story that this thing is holding for you, that can help let it go.
Yeah. Dirty Dog Hauling, thank you so much for your sponsorship. If you're looking for a junk removal company, they are the go-to company. Whether you have a small job or a large job, and even excavation, you want to check them out. They are reasonable and also timely and effective. Dirty dog hauling. Now back to the show. So I know that you and I met. I start there.
Yeah.
You and I met through, of course, real estate. Of all
Yes, you found me my forever home, which makes me so happy.
Yes.
4 or 5 years later.
Yes, I know.
And I was sort of starting over with my life.
Yes. So let's talk about that. So when we actually met, you had decided, okay, I'm starting over.
Yeah.
And you were here. You were in the area, correct? Were you in San Diego at the time?
Yes, but just barely. So I grew up in central Pennsylvania. I left for college, and sort of lived outside of Pennsylvania my whole adult life. Got married, and after my divorce, came back here to sort of be with family and figure out what was next for me. And came to Harrisburg to work with the Harrisburg School District. I was a librarian for a long time until then deciding that I was ready to follow my next dream, which was own my own business. But I met you just when I was thinking about coming to Harrisburg and settling down and starting to set roots down. And it's been a wonderful 5 years having a home where I feel that peaceful sanctuary is meaningful. And then I love our area. We have so many wonderful things happening. So
I think it's the best kept secret. I do.
I agree.
In Pennsylvania.
Yes.
I really do think so.
Yep.
Because of cost of living, and we're so close to, DC, to New York, Philadelphia, like all the major metropolitan areas.
Yes.
So maybe 2 hours away, 2.5?
I know. Train. I just love it.
Yeah, 100%. So then one of the things that I know you and I talked about, we had an additional cup of coffee at a coffee shop.
It's turning into a habit, having coffee with you.
It is, and that's okay.
Yeah.
What was it that drew you to your new profession?
So I had been a school librarian for 20 years. It had been wonderful. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And, education has changed in 20 years. And also 20 years doing the same thing. Sometimes you start to realize you just need a change.
Yeah.
And I took some time to think about it. And this little voice in my head just kept saying, what if you worked for yourself? What if you ran your own business? What would that look like? Is that what you want? And, along with decluttering and making choices about our things, more and more, I just keep doubling down on making choices for myself and what I want for myself.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful. And obviously you don't just move from clearing out your junk drawer to, what I want next for myself? Start a business.
Yeah.
But
no one wakes up saying they want to start a business.
But you do sort of keep expanding your view of, I could also make a choice about this. Well, if I'm not taking for granted what I live with, and therefore I always have to have these things, if I'm making choices about that, I can also start to make choices about what else I want for myself in my life, what new hobby I want to pick up, for me, what relationship I didn't want. We talked a little bit about my marriage, which was really hard for me to walk away from, but it was a healthy decision for me. And so you just keep practicing until one day you're like, I am going to bet on myself and start a new business. So here I am a year later. Very happy to be helping people declutter and access what's important to them.
Right.
So often our things just weigh us down and we get into the middle of it and we're just not sure how to move forward anymore. And it is such a privilege for me to be allowed by people to be brought into their home to help them move forward and let go of some of the things that are holding them back.
So just so we speak to, the people, our community.
Yes.
Who are young women who are upwardly mobile, ambitious, go-getters, right? And they are pretty much just dynamic in their own way.
Yes.
Had to take 2 seconds to thank Allstate Insurance for sponsoring this episode. If you're looking for car, life, or casualty insurance, they're going to be your ultimate insurance company. Thank you, Rob Shaw with Allstate Insurance. Now, back to the show. And however, they may struggle with letting go. One of the things I did hear you say was that it may not be you have to go through a process yourself, right, of letting go before you actually got into your own business.
Yes.
Like, can you speak to them? Because there may be someone that's right now going through that same thing.
Yep.
Afraid to make decisions, confidence in their decisions in order to let go.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I do think it's something, again, that is a practice. Making choices gets a little easier with practice. And making choices, even though it might seem small about, is my wardrobe reflective of who I want to be, and do I feel good every time I put something on from my wardrobe? So it's sort of basic, but it's meaningful because, what you put on represents you. But making that choice to then, who am I? Who am I, and how am I going to make sure that no one else is influencing my thoughts about who I am? We just always have to keep practicing that. And unfortunately for me, I learned that the hard way. I had a pretty unhealthy marriage where, my ex-husband was very sure of what he wanted and very sure of what his partner should look like, sound like. And I got to some pretty dark places where I didn't trust myself anymore.
Oh, wow.
And but I think because, and I bet so many people in your audience are like this, we are strong women, and there are many things that we're confident about. I was confident that I was a smart person, I was successful professionally, and yet therefore I kept thinking, well, I can make this work, I can make this relationship work, and it slid into I can keep this person happy. And I won't worry as much about me because I'm fine. I will focus on making this person happy. But at the end of the day, that's not our job.
No.
To make someone else happy.
Right.
And the more energy you put into that, the less you have for yourself. And as I did, you come to a place where you don't know who you are anymore.
So that was so good. And there were so many nuggets in there. Oof. There were so many nuggets. Like, for one, that you stop focusing on becoming who you were, and the focus is on making the other person happy, right? So forget about ourselves.
Yep.
We're going to make the other person happy.
And society tells women that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And, yes, for me, my marriage was unhealthy, but I think we can have healthy relationships and still get caught in that trap.
And still get caught in the trap. How so?
Because you have a pretty healthy relationship with your parents or your kids or your partner. And why wouldn't we want to make someone happy that we love, right?
Yeah.
And is it a big deal to always let them pick the movie or always let them pick what we're having for dinner? That's not a big deal.
Right.
And we just want to make this person we love happy. And maybe they don't realize it and they take advantage and just sort of keep being like, oh yeah, this is great, I always pick the movie. But again, the little choices that you're not making for yourself can build into something that's unhealthy. So it is a trap that you just always want to keep touching back on. Am I where I want to be? Am I who I want to be? Am I able to be that person everywhere in my life? Like I said, I was very successful professionally. I was getting great feedback. I felt like my true self, just what you talk about, my true authentic self when I was a school librarian. And so I ignored the fact that I was not my true authentic self in my marriage.
Wow. So it's funny that you say that because I have conversations with my daughters all the time about how important it is to become a me.
Yes.
And you truly know who me or I am.
Yes.
Before you can become a we.
Absolutely.
Those are conversations that we didn't necessarily have, you know what I mean, before entering into our marriages.
Yeah.
So I can understand how you could lose sight of yourself. So that's why when their children leave the nest, like you're like heartbroken. And part of it has to do with because your identity is tied to the children that just left you.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
You're so right. And I love that you said that because our identity and how we identify ourselves keeps changing, right? It's not a bad thing that one of your top or other people's top identifiers was mom.
Right.
But once you have an empty nest, you do sort of have to shift that. And it wasn't a bad thing for me necessarily to have a top identifier as being a wife.
Correct. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right?
And
No.
yes.
And yet
Yeah.
I lost myself
Right.
there. So, one message always is just remember that it's a process. You should continually be checking in with yourself. What do I want for myself in addition to building this relationship that I'm part of?
Yeah. Yeah. This is so good, Sarah. I know I'm going to keep saying it. Y'all, because it's so good. Okay. And I hope you're taking notes. Right. So here's the thing.
Yes.
The industry that you chose, the profession you actually chose.
Yes.
Ties a lot to the conversation that we just had.
It does.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay.
Because again, choice, there is so much power in choice. And we all accumulate things almost without realizing it sometimes. We all have at least 5 things in our wardrobe that either don't fit us anymore, but we think maybe they'll fit us next year, or we don't really like, but someone gave it to us, so we feel bad about letting it go.
Right.
Or
that is my husband. Sorry, Jesse.
Yes.
That is if someone bought it for him,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
He is not letting it go.
Guilt is very powerful.
Do you think it's guilt or is it just honor? I think for him, it's honor. Like he wants to honor the person that gave him that. He loves, because he loves so deeply.
Yeah.
He loves the person. So
Right.
if they took the time to give him something, he's going to keep it forever. Forever.
I think forever is the challenge, because yes, we absolutely want to honor someone.
Yeah.
We do. But I do often have clients who are at a point where they need to pare down. Maybe they're moving to a smaller house and they've kept all these things because they want to honor the person.
Right.
But either they've got a closet full of these things that they never look at anymore, or now we have to make those decisions. And I try to remind them that, the person who gave you this thing,
Right.
if they truly love you, they would not want you to keep it only to honor them or because of guilt.
So that's what you say to the person as you're going through your process
Yes.
of, decluttering. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so
Is it well received? I'm trying
every
to
once
figure
in a
out,
while,
like,
someone's like,
no.
actually, this person would totally want me to keep this. She would play the guilt. Yes.
Exactly what I was going to say.
And, I try not to make any judgments about
Okay.
that person, and they would guilt you into keeping X thing. But at the end of the day, this does come back to our conversation just about you get to decide for you. And you need to, maybe you want to have a conversation.
Right.
That's your way of feeling like I can still honor this person and say, hey, I appreciate that you gave me this blank and I've kept it all this time. And at this point, I'm realizing I'm going to need to get rid of it. It gives me more space for other things, or I'm letting go of a lot of things. Maybe you just group it into the process. I've realized I need to regain some energy, and part of that is letting go of some things that I've kept. Thank you so much for this. I guess you could offer, would you like it to pass on to someone else? Because if not, I'm going to donate it so that someone else can enjoy it moving forward.
Yeah. I had to take 2 seconds to interrupt this episode. I would like to thank one of our most recent guests, Attorney Jenny Chavis, for sponsoring this show. Chavis Law Firm is an elite law firm in Central Pennsylvania that helps with estate planning as well as understanding what type of business entity you should enter into when starting your business. If you're looking for a great attorney that understands estate planning as well as business entity, how to start the right way, you want to check out Attorney Chavis, Chavis Law Firm. Now, back to the show. I like the fact that you said, letting it go to allow other energy to come in.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
And it is amazing. Again, one of the things that I feel so privileged to do as an organizer is be there when people walk into a space that either I've decluttered independently or we've worked on together, and watch their energy return, whether it's creative energy because suddenly their project room, which had gotten too full, and they couldn't even work there anymore. And suddenly they walk into a space that again has room, and their creativity just starts bubbling out of them.
Yeah.
Or even just, if you come home after hard days of work and you sit down on your couch and yes, you're watching TV, but really part of your brain is always thinking, oh, there's that pile of mail over there I should be doing. Oh, there's that pile of clothes that I dropped at the door when I came in I should be dealing. Whether you know it or not, all of those things are niggling at you and draining energy because you're constantly like, no, I get to relax. I'm not doing that. Oh man, I should do that. I'm not doing that. And you're not aware of the conversation, but you're losing energy
right
to those piles.
That's why sometimes it's hard for people to work from home.
Yes.
Because they'll see the laundry. They'll see the dishes aren't completed. They'll see, toys everywhere. So they're not able to work from home because, like you said, it's draining their energy.
It is.
And then going to work is like a fresh place for them to just, I can exhale, just forget about it.
Right.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is true with kids. So especially, I taught online via Zoom with COVID. So kids working, doing their schoolwork from home, and people who have any kind of brain-based condition, whether it's ADHD or something else. Kids sometimes deal with that. There's a lot of studies that say a calm home environment makes a significant difference in that focus throughout your day, even when you're not home. If you have that calm home environment sort of to recharge in, that can help your symptoms throughout your day. And so there's something powerful about that.
Just to engage the community, I would love to know, based on what she just said, if you actually went through the practice of decluttering, just getting rid of things, did you have a sense of feeling like freedom? Did anyone shed a tear like I did when I cleaned out our whole house? It just gives you so much energy. I would love to know if that was your experience, because hearing you talk, I know someone's like, yep, I can relate.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. And I will also say to the people who maybe are listening and they're thinking, no, it didn't, because the opposite is you're seeing so much clutter in your house that you try to declutter and you don't see progress. And so you end up just being frustrated. And so I just want to normalize that because it really can be its own defeat to try to declutter and recognize that you're not functioning optimally in your space, or you're having trouble working from home, or you can't relax. And so you try to do what you see on TV and on social media. Hey, here's this decluttering trick. Here's the strategy. And you try it, and either it doesn't work for you, because not every strategy works for every brain type, right? Everything resonates differently with people. And also, sometimes the project you pick to declutter, that was worthwhile, but it's such a small piece within the big picture that it doesn't add up to the progress you need to feel motivated to keep doing it.
Okay.
And so just, please don't be discouraged when that happens. It is about doing small chunks at a time. Sometimes using a timer is helpful, but it's also about trying to focus on one category or one area. So it's not like, oh my gosh, look at that kitchen. Well, I better do something over there. Oh, but look at this laundry. I better do that. Yeah. And you bounce around from thing to thing, and you do a little bit from each, but somehow it never amounts to as much progress as you want, or you see other people having success with. And that can really cause hardship and then make you feel, honestly, unfortunately, some people end up feeling like a failure, and there can be a downward spiral. Yeah. Just as our positive energy builds as we successfully declutter, sometimes negative energy can build as these things don't quite work.
Right. So let's walk through the process for someone that may be toying with the idea of getting rid of the old things that no longer serve them.
Yes.
Can you walk us through that process?
So I would say the first thing I always recommend is thinking about the goal. And the goal could just be, my house is chaotic and I want it to be peaceful, but you want to be more specific. You want to think maybe about one room. I want to sit down at my couch and not have my coffee table piled high.
Okay.
You want to, and how you're going to feel when that happens.
Okay.
Or I want to walk into my kid's playroom and not step on toys. And so therefore we're going to work with the family's going to work together, and we're going to get rid of the toys that our kids don't use anymore. They've aged out of. So you want to get a specific goal. Then you want to gather your tools. So this is like, that's the mental. The practical is you want to gather a trash bag. You want to gather a couple boxes for donations. Maybe something for, we know someone else who could use this. Maybe a giveaway box, recycling. But you want to have those with you. So it's not like, here's some trash. Let me wander over there and put it away. Well, then when you're over there, you get distracted and it's 10 minutes till you come back to your project. So you want to sort of have everything ready to go.
Okay.
And then I would say the next thing to keep in mind is start small.
Okay.
So pick a small project.
I'm a kind of girl, so starting small is not
easy. It's not easy because you're like, right, I'm going to go through my closet.
Yeah.
But you take everything out of your closet, you spread it in your bedroom, you start trying on clothes. Trying on clothes is exhausting.
Yeah.
And so...
No, not for me.
Okay. Okay.
No.
But 30, 45, 60 minutes of it, which is at least what you're going to need, you start to get tired. And when you get tired, suddenly you look around and your bedroom is a mess because you haven't dealt with all the clothes. Yeah. And then you really are not happy because you're exhausted. You're sort of a little grumpy because not everything fit you the way you want it to anymore. And you still have to clean up the mess in your bedroom.
But Sarah, every fashion trend comes back around. So you have to convince me, okay?
Yes.
Why I need to get rid of my clothes when I know that, you know what? I want to share a story with you.
Okay.
The leather trench.
Oh,
yes. I loved it. It was burgundy, double-breasted with the pointy collars.
And not cheap, I'm sure.
This was back, I had to have been maybe 21.
And so you spent some money on it.
Do you not know I wish I had it today? Because it's back.
Yes.
So now you have to convince me why, just like people like me, why we should throw away our clothes.
Okay. First of all, remember, you're not throwing them away. You're going to donate them to someone.
Okay. Donate to someone else.
Right. Well, actually, sometimes you should throw something away. Don't send anything to a donation center that's ripped or soiled.
Yeah, that's
So you want to make sure it's something that people would legitimately want. But the whole idea of what if I need it someday is very powerful.
No, what if it comes back?
What if it comes back?
If you're in fashion, you keep your eyes on what's going on in the industry.
I know, and you are very fashionable. I know, yes.
So it may come back.
All right, there's a couple ways to think about it.
Yeah.
One, is it taking up space that you want for the current trend? And maybe you might have a big enough closet where it's like, actually, no, I do have a small section of my closet for the really, really nice pieces.
Yeah, special pieces.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And you have room for it. Okay. You know what? I'm fine with that.
Okay.
If you don't have a big enough closet though, or you're like, but I keep buying this other stuff and then we're cramming these things there and you can't even access your clothes anymore.
Yeah.
Then I might push a little bit on that one.
Yeah. Hey, okay. So the people in fashion.
Yes.
I just saved y'all.
Yes.
Saved y'all big time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I was like, what? Get rid of all this stuff? Okay. So special pieces we can keep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everything else that no longer serves us, we can get rid of.
Yep.
Yeah. But I wish.
But the special ones, that's special. Because the other thing you hear a lot is, well, if you could replace it quickly for a reasonable cost, if you ever decide you need it, or if it comes back in fashion.
Yeah.
If you could do that, throw it away now or donate it now.
Okay.
But your leather jacket, which was unique and a little more, you spend some money on that. Well, that's not something you could replace quickly for low cost. So that sort of hits that mark too.
Yeah.
So there you go. 2 different permissions to keep it.
Yeah.
If only you had known back then.
So did you ever run across someone that just they really struggled with getting rid of their items?
Very much.
What do you recommend for that person? Because I'm thinking at that point, well, you tell us. Yeah, you tell us what you would do.
Well, I do say that, decluttering and making choices, it's a muscle. You do need to start off. You don't go in and start lifting 50-pound weights, you need to start off with your 5-pound weights or your 10-pound weights.
Right.
So you want to start with the low-hanging fruit. You want to start with the easy decisions. So this is why you do start by decluttering a junk drawer.
Yeah.
And start by, decluttering cleaning supplies that are crowding under your kitchen sink or your bathroom sink. Maybe your shoe collection. Because, again, fashion-wise, maybe they're not
Sarah, I need you to stay away from fashion. I need you to
I'm talking to the wrong person about the shoe collection.
getting rid of my shoes. No.
But you might be able to realize, oh, okay, these are special.
Yeah.
But, I can get rid of 10 pairs of my 50 pairs. I don't know. I don't know. Some people, a shoe collection is not so emotional. But you do want to practice on the easy things first. And so that by the time you get around to the more emotional decisions, a couple things have happened. Number one, you've practiced and you're getting better at making decisions. Number two, you're seeing progress in your space.
Okay.
You're starting to see the room that you've created by letting go some of those easy things. And you are getting some energy and some motivation and some good feelings from that, so then by the time you are looking at the more emotional things, you are more aware of what you're going to gain by letting some of those things go. The energy, the space that's allowing you to think about who you want to be next, where you want to go next. But you have to build up to it. So I would say start on the easy things.
Okay. That's good. Start with the easy things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. So have you ever had someone you had to turn away? Like you're just like, you know what? This is beyond me.
I have not yet, but that's absolutely something I would do.
Okay.
I'm part of there are several national organizations for organizers. And the two that I belong to, the acronyms are NAPO and ICD, they have very strong ethical standards, which is so important to me. And one of the things that's ethical is knowing what you are and are not capable of, and not doing your client the disservice of taking on their job when you know that you can't truly serve them in the way that they need. Hoarding disorder is a mental health disorder officially at this point. And often, so there's a scale for that. And if someone, it's a 1 to 5 scale, if someone was at a 3, 4, 5 level of having dealing with hoarding disorder, that would, for example, not be a client that I know I cannot serve them as they would need. I have done some education in helping in that way, but you really need a team of people, and you need major family and friend support, as well as often a mental health professional to help this person, because yes, making decisions and letting go of emotional things is hard for everybody. But if you're dealing with the hoarding disorder, it's actually things that would not seem like a big deal to you and me can be very, very traumatic.
Like, what are the signs? Because
so if you think about people
think
who are
as a hoarder,
and I have had clients who, when I first meet them, say, "Oh, do you think I'm a hoarder?" or "I am a hoarder." And so it is certainly terminology we throw around a lot in our society.
Probably too loosely.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because it does a disservice to the people who are truly suffering under the disorder. So one of the things to be aware of is if you have sometimes stacks of newspapers, or stacks of coupons, or stacks of magazines that you can't get rid of.
Someone just cringed right now.
Yeah. And when I say stacks, it's not like a
magazines
stack beside your coffee, your couch that at some point you're going to go through. It's that it's really almost compulsive, where your home is starting to be filled with stacks and stacks of, for example, magazines, to a point where it's maybe very difficult to get in and out of rooms.
Oh, wow.
It's starting to be a safety hazard.
Yeah.
And you may understand that your house is crowded, and still, if someone, a well-meaning friend or family member, says, "Hey, you know what? Let me just take these to the recycling for you so that I can help clear out some space in this room," you won't be able to let it go. It will be a traumatic thing to let that go. There's not the
So you're walking in the house, you see this, you're like, ooh, this is beyond me.
Yep.
And do you have services that you offer as a backup?
Thankfully, there are multiple organizers in our area, and I always try to reach out to as many as possible because one, what I appreciate about organizers is the same thing as educators. We have a abundance mindset.
Right.
You know, we know that the need is there, and there is business and need for all of us.
Okay.
And to my way of thinking, the more organizers I know, the better I can serve my clients when I'm not the right person or I don't have room in my schedule.
Okay.
I can recommend someone else. I can recommend someone who specializes perhaps in working with people with hoarding disorder, or have a bigger team available if they're helping someone clear out and they have a time limit. So absolutely always want to be recommending someone else if they would.
So you never go in the home and say, oh, you have a hoarding disorder. You may want to get in contact with X. That's not your lane at all. You're just like, hey, I may know of another organizer that'd be able to serve you better.
I have never yet walked into a home but it would absolutely be something I would take seriously to think about. Can I really help this person now that I see their conditions? Can I help them as a solopreneur, as working on my own? Or not. And if I need to be honest with myself. If I can't help them, then I am going to refer them to someone else.
Yeah. So Gen Zs and millennials are talking about minimalists. I'm a minimalist. Have we defined that? What does that mean?
So minimalism is doing with less, right? And I think it's so interesting. On one end of the scale, when I say I'm an organizer, people think about Hoarders, the TV show. And on the other end, it's Marie Kondo, who I think stands out to people as the minimalist, the one who is, hold it, does it spark joy? And if the answer is no, let it go.
Yes.
And in many of her books, she does advocate for less is probably more. And so people are worried that they're going to hire me and I'm going to make them get rid of all their stuff because I think the best thing is minimalism. And the truth is, I don't think the only way to be organized is to be a minimalist. I have a friend, we talk regularly about, my style is actually a little more minimal and hers is more on the maximal side. But as long as you can access what you enjoy, as long as your collections, you can view them so that you're truly enjoying them. If you want more things, that's fine. I'm only here to help you make sure you know what's really important to you and make those choices and reconsider if the things you've just been hanging on to for years or decades sometimes is still that important to you. And then the things that we decide together are important to you, make sure they're optimally stored in your home so that you can access and enjoy them.
Okay.
And so I don't think minimalism is necessarily the answer to
so meaning one of
not being
everything?
organized.
Is that a definition of a minimalist? Like you only have one item? Like how would you?
That's interesting. I guess a minimalist, honestly, I think it's not even having one of everything. It's having not all the things. You don't even need to have one thing in every category, right? You can think, I'm trying to think of a good example as far as like a decor kind of thing.
Right. Hey, I need to take 2 seconds to interrupt this wonderful show that you're watching. I run a real estate business, and the way we fund this podcast is through that business, the Erica Rawls team. I would love it if you would just give us one opportunity to service your real estate needs, whether you are in Central PA or around the entire world. Think of us first so we can help you. Now back to the show.
So like pillows, it's not necessarily a minimalist will only have one pillow.
Right.
On the other hand, throw blankets, maybe they have decided I don't even need one throw blanket. So it's really considering everything that society tells me we need,
right,
and I should buy, just sort of rejecting that idea and saying I don't need to buy everything, and air fryers, right? Tons of kitchens have those now. Maybe a minimalist is able to say, not only do I not need to have two because I got one on a great discount at Costco and I have it in case the first one breaks, the minimalist would say, actually, I don't need an air fryer at all because the way I cook doesn't connect to an air fryer. And so I'm just going to reject that idea as the current trend that everyone's supposed to buy.
Right.
And in that way, I do appreciate minimalism as a current approach to a consumerism.
Yeah.
Is just saying, no, it's not always just because I'm being advertised to that I should buy it to keep up with my neighbor or who I see on Instagram.
That's what I was going to say. So for my generation, they're choosing not to keep up with the Joneses.
Right.
So if you're a minimalist, you're like, no, I don't need it.
Yeah.
Do I really need it?
Right.
And if not, then I'm just going to let it go.
And I applaud that. And I think that's a valuable attitude.
Too.
Whatever you call it, I think that's really a valuable way to look at things.
Awesome. So Sarah, how can someone get in contact with you?
So my website is Grace in
And what's the name of
Cycles.
your company?
Yes.
We were just talking and just,
I know. It's just so easy to talk with you. So Grace, because I know that we all need a little extra help. We all need some grace sometimes in different cycles of our life. So Grace in Cycles is the name of my company. GraceandCycles.com is my website, and I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. So I always tell people I'm happy to talk through, do a free phone consultation, talk about where they're at and what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do, because I had a background in education, really try to share. A lot of my posts are educational, just trying to either, change mindsets or change attitudes that maybe are hurtful or not helpful to your own process, give tips. So I want to empower people to make the choices about the things in their life so that they are happy where they're at and can envision what they want for themselves next.
Yeah.
And if I can do that with just a few tips that spark something for you, wonderful. If you want a little bit more help and want to work with me, then I'm also happy to do that. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Who knew talking about clutter would go so deep and be so good?
Well, I know
Thank
it
you.
because, you seem to always bring this out in your guests.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
I
it's a
appreciate
pleasure.
you.
It's a
Yes,
pleasure.
it was a pleasure having coffee with you too. Okay, y'all, until next time, if you enjoyed this, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to subscribe. Excuse me, I got excited. Subscribe, like, share, and most of all, please comment because I'm looking forward to meeting you in the comments.